Now, the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester. And yeah, cloudy. Sounds like a broken record, doesn't it? This Mother Nature just is not getting the clouds out of our weather forecast. But there is a little bit of light on the horizon. We'll talk about that weather forecast for you in just a moment. But Matthew, the thermometer continues to work its way up at noon. And our temperatures are a little bit above the mid-30s right now, aren't they?
Yeah, so over at the airport, it's cloudy at 40. Over in Midland, it's also cloudy at 40. Here at Radio Center, it's cloudy at 39. We have southwest winds at 8 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 29.88, and it's falling.
We're going to see those winds move around just a little bit out of the northwest later on, and then out of the northeast as we move into the nighttime hours and out of the north. And then eventually tomorrow, we're going to have to deal with some northeast breezes as well. But the big difference tomorrow versus what we have been seeing lately is we're going to have a much better chance of seeing some sunshine. So we'll look forward to that. We're going to get into the weather information, a little bit more of it in just a moment. But we do have a little business to take care of right away. And it's business that we don't really look forward to taking care of. But this is something that really needs to be said. The agriculture community lost a big player, and some folks believe an icon in the Michigan agriculture atmosphere when we lost Phil Schmiege yesterday after a very, very, very fruitful career involved with agriculture. As long as I've been doing the farm program, I've known Phil. Phil's been an avid listener, an avid supporter of agriculture, and somebody who's really supported his community, whether it's being involved with the FFA, the conservation clubs, his church, planning commissions, volunteering to mow lawns out and about. Phil was always involved in the outdoors and always involved in promoting his community and the things that he really enjoyed the most, and that was agriculture and helping farmers to be better stewards of their land. He is survived by his wife and daughter and a lot of family members. It's my understanding that visitation is going to be in Chesaning at McGeehan Funeral Homes. That will be tomorrow afternoon beginning at 4. And it's my understanding that the funeral will take place at 11 o'clock on Saturday at Zion Lutheran Church in Chesaning. So again, our condolences go to the farm families and to the family itself. The passing of Phil Schmiege, one heck of a guy and a great guy to work around with. As far as our weather is concerned, what are we looking at? 42 is our projected high. Looking for low tonight with clouds of 28. Sun will set this evening at 5:47. Rise tomorrow morning at 7:52. Sun as the day goes on tomorrow. Not quite as warm, but the sunshine will make it feel warmer. 35, 36 degrees for a high. That's going to be it. We'll have a light northeast wind. Sun as the day goes on because of a high pressure system over northern Lake Superior. Looking for a low on Friday night because the skies will be relatively clear, 25. And during the day on Saturday, mostly sunny skies. We're going to warm up a little bit. 40 for a high, 25 for a low on Saturday. Sunday, mostly sunny skies, 42 for a high, 30 for a low. Then moving into the work week next week, temperatures in that low 40-degree range to take us through a good part of the work week next week, with nighttime lows hovering just below the freezing mark. Long range to take us all the way through Valentine's Day is for a continuation of our above average temperatures. Slightly below as far as the moisture is concerned. We're going to pick up a little bit better chance of seeing some precipitation once we get into the second full week of the month of February. But right now, we are looking at things to change just a little bit after Valentine's Day. 15th, 16th, we'll see maybe a little bit more cooler weather or a turn toward possibly some winter-like conditions. But at this stage of the game, it doesn't appear as though whatever we do get the middle of February is going to last very long. We're looking at a continuation of above average temperatures overall for the month of February, and March, April, and May and June right now look to be above normal temperature wise. Now, precipitation, that's debatable at this stage of the game. They're calling it average. I think that for the most part, that's what we are going to be looking at as far as our precipitation. We're not looking for a wet spring by any stretch. We're looking for a very mild temperature spring. Normal high for this time of the year is 29, so you get an idea of just how above normal we are. Normal low is 15. The record high in this state set back in 1933, which was the warmest ever. February the 1st was 50. The low was 32. So again, the warmest was 1933. The coldest ever, February the 1st, was in 1918. Our record low was set on that day, 16 below. Our high temperature only made it up to 4. Now, the snowiest ever February on record is just under 3 feet of snow out at MBS International Airport. That was set back in February of 2008. And the record amount of snowfall on this date, February the 1st, just under 6 inches, that was set in 2015. Now, as far as cold weather goes, we had some of the coldest weather last winter right about now. A year ago today, our high was 25 and our low was 4. The days that we saw below zero were very limited, only a couple, 3 at the most, around the Great Lakes Bay area. And those were all last year, right around the last couple of days of February and the first couple of days, or the last couple of days of January and the first couple of days of February. So normally this time of the year, we're in a cold spell. And last year we certainly were. This year, not so much the case at all. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Melinda Sweeney from the Andersons, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth. They've got those Farmall tractors for you. Whatever job you need done, they'll pair you up with the right model of Farmall tractor because they do have a wide variety of them. 35 to 140 horse. That's what they've got. Whether it's the compact Farmall A series, all the way up to the deluxe compact Farmall C and C series with cabs. The Farmall does it all. And for the farmer or just the plain old homeowner, you can get that job done a lot quicker, a lot easier with the help of Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth and Farmall tractors. So no matter what you're doing, Can Do comes in red, and it is called Farmall. Find out more by stopping by Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth, doing it right longer. We say good morning to Melinda Sweeney over at the Andersons. Melinda, how's your day going so far?
It's going good. How's yours?
Hey, not too bad. You know, it would be a little bit better if everything was positive. But we're having a tough time in the soybean pit, aren't we?
Yeah, soybeans are down 17 cents right now. Soybeans are trading lower on the pressure of meal and oil both being lower. Meal previously had 3 higher closes, which helped support soybeans over the past 2 days. Brazilian soybean premiums are still pretty low, but did firm up on Wednesday with the lack of the farmer selling. With that, it's low premiums are causing buyers to import beans from Brazil to the U.S., which isn't helping our soybean pressure. On wheat, wheat's up 5 this morning. Eyes are on Argentina as they've benefited from some friendlier weather recently, but some sense of dryness and heat there could definitely still affect their wheat crop. Same with India. Jeopardy of warmer weather is damaging their wheat crop, so that could hold a little bit of optimism there in the wheat market. For corn, we're trading lower. We're down 2 cents on corn this morning. Yesterday, it was revealed that the U.S. cattle herd has shrunken to the smallest number since 1951, which is thinking that has some impact on feed and demand on the corn pressure.
Yeah, it sure sounds that way. I've heard, but I've never really seen too much about the livestock on feed in a lot of our areas. There has been some rather dramatic herd cutback, hasn't there?
Yeah, I think there's been a transition out of some of those smaller local feedlots. But again, across the country, it's what are the feedlots out west doing, and all eyes are on them.
Well, and again, it's not getting any cheaper to operate these facilities. So in some cases, the smaller ones are just having to give it up.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of labor intensive involved as well.
Yeah, and that's another story when it comes to employment on the farm. It's pretty tough right now, and agriculture is very labor intensive, and if you don't have the labor, we got some problems. And I think that's what the livestock industry is going or will be going through, not only just with beef or pork, but also with poultry. You're talking a lot of labor needed to keep everything in operation and to keep under all of the regulational laws that are being imposed on a lot of these yards, more so really than ever before.
Yeah, I don't follow the livestock market too closely. I grew up with cattle, but it's a foreign language some days.
Yeah, it sure is. So what do we have on the board right now at the Andersons?
Yeah, nearby corn, we're at $3.95. New crop 24 corn, we're at $4.12. Nearby soybeans $11.50. New crop 24 beans at $11.16. New crop 24 red wheat at $5.41, and new crop July 24 white wheat at $5.91.
Melinda, you have a great day, okay?
Thanks. You as well.
You bet. Melinda Sweeney over at the Andersons. Over to Oppenheimer we go with Doug Klein. The market report brought to you by the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They can help with lines of credit, equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. So all you got to do is stop by any of their locations. They're conveniently located all around the Great Lakes Bay Area, Michigan's thumb, and find out how they can be your hometown financial solution. Find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org and by Freeland Bean and Grain. They've got a great selection right now of products from Sure Crop and Nature's that can help you increase your yields. And of course, when it comes to seeds, they're a Dairyland Seed headquarters too. Vic Huffer will take care of whatever you need as far as answering questions because he is a certified crop advisor. It's all about serving you, and they've been doing it since 1983. Freeland Bean and Grain. Say good morning to Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. And Doug, another interesting day out there, huh?
Oh, always interesting. That is no lie. Yeah, the stock market can't decide whether it wants to break even or be up 100 points today. I've seen 100 twice now, and I've seen 0 twice now. So currently up about 90 points on the Dow. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a bounce, not too convincing, but Caterpillar hit a new high today. Corteva had their earnings today. They're up 17%, so they surprised on the upside. Mosaic hit a new low today, so the fertilizer business may not be all it's cracked up to be. And New York Community Bank, one of the banks I follow very much at a distance, hit a new low today. They're getting close to, well, we won't even say what they're getting close to, but it's getting a bit ugly in the regional banking business because they're so leveraged in things that may or may not pay off someday in the future. So anyway, so that's what's going on. Here's your numbers. The March corn is 445.5, down 2 3/4. July corn 464 1/4, down 2 1/4. March soybeans 1204 1/4, down 18. July soybeans 1224.5, down 17 1/4. The March wheat is 599 3/4, up 4 1/2, and July wheat 611 3/4, up 1 1/2. Crude oil coming back a little bit, 76.64, up 80 cents. Heating oil is 278.38, that's down 1/10 of a penny. Gasoline is 222.50, that's down 6/10 of a penny. And natural gas is 207, down 3 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, US dollar buys $1.3390 Canadian, that's down 44 ticks. The dollar buys 146.06 yen, down 82 ticks. The euro's at 108.58, up 42 ticks. And the dollar is at 103.21, that's down 6 ticks. Gold is at $20.5630, that's up $7.90. Silver's $23.26, up a dime. Platinum's at $925.10, down $7.50.
You have a good one, Doug. Thank you.
Thanks. You too.
Will do. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, purchasing local soybeans, processing local beans, and marketing local Exceller Meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. They've been doing that since 1991. You got some questions? You want your local nutritionist to check them out, or your local feed dealer? Do it. Have them ask about high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd, Exceller Meal from Quality Roasting of Reese. Farm Service also brought to you by Krijak's House Family Restaurant. Punchki Day right around the corner. Fat Tuesday is the 13th this year of February, and of course we'll be broadcasting our farm program from there. Art Lewis will be talking to you all starting about 5:30, I think, that morning as well, and we'll be there too. Krajak's House Family Restaurant, a great place to dine in. Corner of Cass in Michigan on Bay City's south side. Doug mentioned just a little bit ago about the fertilizer industry, what's going on there. C.J. Miller with Michigan Ag Today wants everybody to get a little bit better idea of what the fertilizer industry is going through and what could happen in the Middle East and how it would affect the fertilizer industry.
A number of recent conflicts throughout the Middle East could impact the fertilizer market as farmers prepare for planting season.
Well, the nitrogen sector had a little bit of a hickey here this weekend in the terms of something that, again, had no direct impact on the nitrogen markets, but it's something that could happen.
That's Josh Linville, Vice President of Fertilizer at StoneX, referring to last weekend's drone attack on a military base in Jordan that killed 3 American soldiers and injured more than 40 others.
And the reason this is important for nitrogen is that now we're waiting for the response from the U.S. And we're wondering, is this just another physical attack back on the Houthi rebels and it stays there? Is this sanctions on Iran, and whether that will or will not include sanctions on urea exports from Iran? They're a major exporter when they're able to export. Or is there a more direct conflict in the works because Iran has been backing this group, or at least linked to it?
Linville says the response from the U.S. is causing some to worry about how it might impact fertilizer shipments.
If all of a sudden we have to start talking about a storyline that considers the inability to transit vessels through the Persian Gulf or the Strait of Hormuz, the world will focus on oil shipments. But from our marketplace, from a nitrogen standpoint, there are millions upon millions of tons of urea exports that come from that body of water, from those countries that surround that body of water. And if all of a sudden Iran starts taking shots at vessels, you start to shut down those exports, the global S&D for urea changes drastically overnight, the market's going to respond to that, and that's probably going to be in a higher stance.
And while the probability of that situation is low, Linville says there are a lot of what ifs driving the fertilizer market right now.
In terms of what we can do, it's still one of those situations. I think we need to be a little more on top of things going into the spring. What I mean by that, it does not mean you have to buy everything right now or you won't get it. I think it's still now more than ever important to make sure we're having conversations with our retailer, with our supplier.
Linville says that having earlier and more often conversations with your fertilizer supplier to let them know what you'll be looking for this year will help the supply chain be ready and more prepared ahead of the planting season.
Hi, I'm Steve Cook from Cook Chevrolet in Vassar, and today I'm asking you to concentrate on three numbers: 226, 283, and 299. That's right, 226, 283, and 299. Those are three of this month's Chevy lease payments. The 226 payment is for the Equinox, the 283 payment is for the Blazer, and the Chevy Silverado Crew Cab is only $299. Do you realize how great these payments are? You could absolutely not have leased these vehicles 25 years ago for any less. These are incredible offers. That $299 a month lease payment is on a $54,000 Silverado. It's almost unbelievable. 226, 286, 299. Get out today to Cook Chevrolet M15 Top of the Hill in Vassar.
Payments based on 24-month GMS lease, 10,000 miles per year, and includes all rebates. $27.65 on Equinox, $29.15 on Blazer, $30.22 on Silverado due at signing. Chevy, find new roads.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Remember, they are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. So now's the time to be talking to them and get your strategy put together as far as being prepared. Risk management, that's what it's all about, and the SAR agency can take care of that for you. You can get a hold of their agents either on their cells for questions or emergencies, or you can call the office in Reese, 989-868-4722, the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Coming up next week, we're going to be broadcasting from Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort in Mount Pleasant on February the 8th. The Great Lakes Regional Dairy Conference will be held there. They'll have a number of experts, farmers, and others in the industry. There'll be interesting topics to be covered. Learn about new tools, techniques, and strategies to help the dairy farm thrive. Again, it's the Great Lakes Regional Dairy Conference, February 8th and 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort in Mount Pleasant. We say good morning to Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jerry, good morning. How are you?
Wonderful, Terry. Hey, player of the week this week is an oldie but goodie.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, how about the good old-fashioned junipers, Terry?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Plants.
They're beautiful.
They're good plants. They're hardy. They're durable. The biggest problem with them is when people get out there with head shears and turn them into boxes, balls, and they don't respond to pruning that way. So they shortly look bad. But right now, this time of year, Terry, they have color, texture, and the colors range from a bright golden, all the way through green, and then back into a nice blue. And again, evergreens that do well like that, there's few and far between. So, we just need to learn to prune them. We'll talk more about pruning and have a pruning class coming up later on. But, junipers, we really got to get them back into trade. People got to start using them more.
All right. Junipers come in all sizes.
All sizes, all shapes, all colors.
You got it. Jerry, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you again next week, okay?
Yes, sir, Terry.
All right. Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Mark this down, February the 21st, wheat growers, the Michigan Wheat Growers Annual Meeting will be held on the 21st of February. That's a Wednesday at Eagle Eye Conference Center on Chandler Road in Bath. Registration is at 8:15. Program runs till 3:30 in the afternoon. To register, and it might be a very good idea to do it right now, go to miwheat.org for more information. We'll take a look and see what's going on in New York in a moment. But first, this. Are you upset with your current planter performance? Are you considering buying a new planter but blown away from sticker shock? With Precision Planting's VSET, V-Drive, and Delta Force, we can retrofit your old planter to outperform any new planter on the market. Then access all your data from planting to harvest easily with Field View. Call PC Ag Solutions today and get your parts ordered, installed, and ready to go for the upcoming growing season. 989-868-4444. PC Ag Solutions. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor Parts. New parts for old tractors made easy. You know, the folks at Steiner understand that a tractor might be a hobby, passion, livelihood, or even your legacy for the next generation. And they do share your enthusiasm for these antique machines. They know that you need and want to keep them running. That's why they take their job personally at Steiner Tractor Parts, because they understand how your life and job both stop if your tractor stops running. Steiner Tractor, 800-234-3280, or go to their website at steinertractor.com. Who do we have, Matthew?
Up next, we have Teresa from Baird & Co. Miss Teresa, how are you doing today?
Hi, Teresa. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Hey, we got our act together finally here.
Glad to hear it.
I hope the guys in New York and ladies in New York have got their act together today.
Well, we sure do try. A little up, a little down today, but we've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 113 at 38,263 with 337 million shares traded. We've got the NASDAQ up 87 at 15,250 with 405 million shares traded. Some stocks of local interest include Caterpillar at 303.86, up 355. Deere at 391.94, down $1.64. CMS Energy 58.28, up $1.12. Dow at 52.92, down 68 cents. DuPont 61.56, down 24. Corteva 53.54, up 8.06. General Motors 38.68, down 12. Trinzio 5.81, down 22. Walmart 167.69, up $2.44. Huntington Bank 12.26, down 47. Independent Bank 24.74, down 7. And AT&T at 18.10, up 41.
You have a great day.
You as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Teresa DeVoe, with the folks over at Baird and Company. We just found out that last night the House of Representatives passed the Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act. And the American Farm Bureau Federation President Zippy Duvall commented by saying that the Farm Bureau does applaud the passage of the Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act by exceedingly large margins. The margin was 357 to 70. The legislation, according to the Farm Bureau, will bring meaningful tax relief to the nation's farmers and ranchers at a time of high interest rates and slim margins. And the Farm Bureau is encouraging the Senate to act swiftly in adapting the measure, which provides a small amount of certainty as we approach the looming 2025 tax clip. And I'm sure there'll be more on that in future programs. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude with the playing of our national anthem.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW,